Welcome to the Sisterhood of Sweat. I am here today with Dustin Baker. Dustin Baker is the president of BioProtein Technology and creator of BioPro Plus. With years of experience working intimately with some of the world's most elite professional athletes, trusted physicians, and even international private security military personnel, his passion remains the same: to help individuals maximize their physiological and cognitive potential safely. Since his 20s, Dustin has been instrumental in the product design and brand development for natural products in the professional, athletics, fitness, and medical supply categories. Today, I'm recording in the Sisterhood of Sweat studio. We have cabinets being sanded and painted and a new garage floor being put down right now. So I thought, oh, it's going to be noisy at home, but it literally was noisy in the studio because it was storming. So it was quite a storm. So if you hear any background noise, it was really literally out of my control. And we have a little background of before and afters of some of the people I've trained. So I just want to tell you, today's podcast was all about longevity, how we can help ourselves supplement where we may be falling short in anti-aging and keeping ourselves healthy and having quality of life, not just quantity. And so today, Dustin talks all about human growth hormone, how it can occur naturally, what an alternative to what Hollywood is out there seeking when they're trying to stay young and relevant. They're seeking the synthetics. And so he's all about the natural ways we can help ourselves today. We talk about insulin resistance, getting sleep, cortisol spiking, and how just how we can help ourselves today in all areas to stay young, vibrant, and healthy. This was an excellent podcast. Dustin really knows his stuff because he also is very passionate about health and wellness, and started out kind of getting gritty with it way back in the day. He said he even scrubbed barbells just to learn all about health and fitness. And I have so many stories that I'll have to do a story on some of my start into the health and wellness space and some of the fun stories that I remember of things that we used to do and things that I would do because I just wanted to be near my passion and learn all about it and help others. So without further ado, we're going to dive into this episode with the one, the only Dustin Baker. Hey, everybody. I'm very excited to welcome Dustin Baker to the show today. Welcome.
Linda, thank you for having me. I love this type of stuff. I'm super excited at the opportunity and to kind of hear what you have going on and talk it out today. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I love meeting somebody that is like-minded in the fitness space. That's what I'm all about. I've been doing this since I was 21 years old, soon to be 60, and I am all about it. And I love that we were connecting before the show, talking about what you've done in the past. And I really found it interesting that you have been part of gyms from the ground up, starting them out. And I just want to kind of dive into your story so the audience can get to know you today.
Okay. Yeah, I would love to do that. I do have some history in the fitness space and development of gyms and buildings and all the fun stuff from ground up level development.
So tell us a little bit about, like, how did you get into the gym industry? How did you get started? What gave you the bug for fitness? Why is that part of your passion?
Actually, I will do my best to condense the story as best I can, but you're actually tugging at my heartstrings a little bit, because fitness is the crux of how I started my entire career, and actually a very life-changing moment. Everything that I've been doing now and everything I've been doing for a decade plus can all be literally tracked back to my first day in a gym. I grew up in a single family household. I was raised by my mom. It was me and two siblings. I was the youngest. I was kind of wild, not kind of, I was a lot to handle. That absolutely followed me through high school. I barely even graduated. I was in all kinds of trouble, which went into my 20s. And as a millennial, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was, involved in all kinds of nefarious stuff and partying, and I had no direction in life. And it was, incredibly unhealthy. I was incredibly unhealthy. Nobody in my family actually ever even taught any of us anything about nutrition, about health, about lifestyle. My father was a football player, and back when he played football, they smoked cigarettes on the sidelines. Like, this was the type of family that I grew up in. So I had no idea about that. So I'm living this unhealthy lifestyle. I'm running through my 20s with no pathway, no career, no nothing. I'm sleeping on couches. And one day, a good friend of mine, he was into fitness, and he was like, "Hey man, why don't you come to the gym with me today instead of, frankly, go drinking?" And I decided to go to the gym. And that was this creation and the start of everything. Because since that day, what fitness taught me was discipline. And I had zero. I didn't know what the word discipline meant. And that one day in the gym transformed into this human being that all I wanted to do was learn everything I could about human physiology, about programming, about nutrition, about all of the stuff that you do every day, Linda. And I just ended up, one thing led to another. I ended up under the tutelage of an ex-Olympian, and he had a gym that, I literally basically lived in the basement. It was in Michigan, and I made no money. But it was my life. It was my passion. And I did everything I could to learn everything I could from him, even like welding air bikes and fixing equipment. I did whatever I cleaned toilets, scrubbed barbells, anything I could to learn everything I possibly could about how the human body worked, performance development, athlete development, and my whole life changed. From that point on, that opportunity and everything that I learned snowballed. I got into training, into physical fitness, into running other individuals' gyms. I had a lot of success in that very quickly. And that led me into a career with a national franchise that specialized in performance athletics with professional athletes, off-season training, NCAA training, even down to high school, which then I had some success in that. And I ended up, which you and I were talking about earlier, creating my entire own methodology, my own fitness training methodology, literally fitness centers from the ground up, from start to finish, development, all of that kind of fun stuff. All of that being said, a very large portion of that entire story, there was a few different formulas in these products from this lab in Tampa, Florida, that always had their place, whether it was with our performance athletes, professional athletes, the fitness facility that I created was specifically for over the age of 35 for, busy professionals. We use the formulas there. And that was always like this common thread. So one day I had a mentor and a good friend who was just like, "Dustin, why, how are these formulas, how are these products not in everyone's hands in the entire United States?" And there was no good answer other than people just didn't know. So to me, that's an opportunity. We acquired all of the formulas. We bought them outright. We bought the business. We kind of rescued them from themselves from a managerial standpoint. And now I'm talking to you with our products and our line. And now we travel the country, working with physicians and educating them on application and anti-aging and hormones and all kinds of fun stuff. So everything that I just said can all be traced back to that one day that I decided to walk into a gym that changed my entire life and taught this kid who had, no idea what he was going to do, how he was going to eat the next day, or even pay my cell phone bill, let alone, I had none of that. And that lifting those weights and giving myself this discipline. Now we're talking to you.
I love it so much. And the passion is so evident. And I love it when somebody has the startup story and they went through the times that, like you said, you were scrubbing the barbells. And I think when you are truly passionate and determined to learn something, to do something, to dream something, you have to be willing to do whatever it takes to achieve that dream, to make that product, to follow along with what it is that you have in your heart. So I love that you were so, you got gritty with it, and you developed this product. I'm gonna say I have a lot of people out there that do supplements, but I have people that are like, why would I need a supplement? So let's start there. Why do you believe in supplements?
Okay. And let's have a really good conversation about this, because for a lot of products out there, I actually don't believe in them. Let's take something like a melatonin, because it's very common. And because I want to explain both sides of the story here, but with melatonin is, quote unquote, technically considered a supplement. It's on the shelf of every corner store and grocery store for the most part in the country, but it can cause massive amounts of damage because there's there's not education behind it. There's people take too much. It causes, it actually can stop your production of your own melatonin. So causing sleep issues instead of fixing them. My point being is I'm not a believer in a lot of supplements. I'm not actually. There's a lot of science that doesn't support a lot of supplements. So I can't say that I am a supporter. Where I do support supplementation is when there is science to back what you're using and there's a specific reason for it, meaning you are filling in the gaps of something that you are not capable of doing on your own. So it's not a lack of, work ethic or motivation, drive, and actually doing the hard work that you're trying to cut those corners. What you're trying to do is, when I do believe in it, what you're trying to do is you're trying to fill in the gaps, right? It's like, it's not fair. It's your body operates a certain way, or you can't stop human physiology. You can't stop the, father time from striking. So in that instance, when there's science behind it and the benefits outweigh the risks, I am absolutely a proponent for quote unquote supplementation.
Okay, so I believe in supplementation as well, but I also think it could just be expensive pee. So you want to make sure that what you're going to be taking, you want to do your homework, you want to research that it does have the scientific thing to back it, like the research, the homework. And then what is your specific problem? Does this have, a lot of feedback where people are getting the results that you're looking for? And then I just always then believe, is it going to do me any harm? I'm going to ask that question. Mm-hmm. If there's really virtually no side effects, then I'm going to give it a trial, because I think if I've tried something 2 to 3 weeks and I don't notice, I'm beginning to think, well, maybe it's just expensive trips to the bathroom, and this is just going right out. And so you could, if you were listening to a health show every day, you could probably end up with 200 supplements, and none of us have time to take that. So why, I really got my ears perked up when in my mind when I was looking at one of your products with the HGH, because I know Hollywood stars, used to make the beeline to get that stuff, and you'd hear, oh, so and so was taking HGH
Oh, they still
illegally,
do.
or okay,
Yeah.
illegally, because of course in Hollywood everybody's looking for that fountain of youth so they can stay relevant and be in the box office and stay, you know, keep their fans. Now, with the HGH, what really perked my ears up is at helping things like joint pains, carpal tunnel, swelling, all of these type of symptoms, which come with age. And I am a super athlete. I mean, I just literally ran almost a marathon today. It was
Oh,
pretty
wow.
close. So it was a 22 miles today. And I'm getting ready to hit, the big 60 on my birthday. I want to know about this stuff because I want to continue.
Yeah. Who doesn't?
Doing this. So tell me about HGH. When do we lose our natural HGH? What age does it drop off?
100%. So I think it's very important for your listeners, because I know, but unless you kind of dabble around in some of this stuff, you might not even know what we're talking about. Human growth hormone is a natural hormone that every human being secretes. It's not sex dominant. It is not just for men. It is not just for women. So we're not talking testosterone, estrogen here, okay? Both men and women have it. What people don't realize is that human growth hormone depletes. So it decreases every single year after puberty, okay? You cannot stop it. It doesn't matter how good you eat. It doesn't matter how you work out. Your human growth hormone is going to deplete. Human growth hormone is responsible is responsible in different processes in your body related to your metabolism, related to literally the elastin and the fibroblasts, or the firmness of your skin. It has to do with your ability to recover from workouts, daily functions, yard work, everything, by repairing muscle cells, repairing soft tissue and ligaments. So like you said, inflammation in the joints, soft tissue, ligaments, tendons, muscle tissue. It even is directly related to sexual function. So you're looking at oxygen potency in the blood vessel health, etc. So when this hormone naturally decreases every single year, a lot of people don't notice it right off the bat, right? So it might start decreasing. Men and women or finish puberty at different times, but let's just say it starts decreasing at 20 years old, 21. It's like a paper cut every single day, and you don't realize it until almost it's too late. So you hear this all the time. I'm sure, Linda, you've heard this a million times because we've both been in fitness. You know exactly what I'm talking about when you get a client that comes in, you get somebody that's coming in the gym, and they're just like, man, I just don't feel like I used to. I feel like I hit this wall. That wall typically gets hit sometime around 40, a little bit after 40. Well, I'll tell you what that wall is. It's a hormone depletion in your body that is stopping normal processes that you're used to through your 20s and your 30s, that you're just not feeling as much anymore. But now you're feeling it in a massive quantity, like death of 1,000 cuts. Now all of a sudden you're feeling it in a way bigger way, not just a little bit each day. So you start waking up with weird pains. You realize you can't work out like you used to anymore. You don't understand why. I'm telling you why. That's literally exactly what aging is. It's the depletion of your body's ability to function properly.
So how do we get HGH naturally? Because I know that it's going to help us with so many things. I mean, just the overall strength, keeping your muscle, not having all the, these aches and pains that get associated with
what's most
athletes.
Important to you. So if you could change one thing right now, and I could give you HGH was going to magically change something, what would it be right now? Even if you're talking about your listeners, what's the most common thing that individuals are struggling with?
Energy, right?
Okay, perfect. Energy, awesome. So how HGH works, and I know you're asking about natural, but I want to touch on the synthetic stuff because you mentioned it earlier of like, hey, the celebrities are using it stuff. Yeah, absolutely. And not just celebrities are using it, depending upon what part of the country you're in, the regulations are quite low. I'm in Florida. It's very easy to, I mean, we're the land of hormone clinics. They're on every street corner in town. They're cash pay. You pretty much get what you want. Different states are different, but you can, a lot of people are on it, and they're on it because it works. It 1000% works. I mean, it's offsetting everything that we just talked about that you're struggling with: energy, sexual function, wrinkling in the skin, etc. However, massive amount of side effects. Okay?
Sign us up. No.
Yeah, exactly. But most people, are who can afford it are willing to say, "Yo, sign me up." It's because, if you're willing to spend $1,000, $3,000, $4,000 a month on this hormone therapy that's very specific, it works 100%. However, if you want to talk down the road, there's a lot of side effects that come along with injecting a synthetic hormone into your body. A lot of those side effects are actually the opposite of why you would take that product in the first place. Meaning, if you're taking it for weight loss, you're taking it for energy and focus, over time, you're actually depleting any natural store that you have. And with any extended use of a synthetic drug, you're going to cause negative side effects like, and specifically with this, you end up getting bloating, carpal tunnel syndrome. You end up getting inflammation. You get what's called insulin resistance, which will cause weight gain. So you're talking about natural stuff. There is several different ways you can actually boost natural human growth hormone. One of them is cutting out refined carbohydrates and sugars earlier to bed. And what I mean by that is like cutting them out earlier in the day, leaving them away from close to sleep. The reason being is when you eat simple sugars, carbohydrates, you're creating a fluctuation in your insulin levels naturally. And you don't want that while you're sleeping, because during sleep is when you're secreting the most human growth hormone. And your body doesn't want that insulin spike to do that hormone secretion. So removing some sugar prior to bed, a couple hours before, is going to help you naturally. The other way to do that is with high intensity interval training, which I know you're super familiar with. Correct. So I know you're super familiar with that. So if you're not doing any type of HIIT training, you're not doing high intensity intervals, you're not exactly setting yourself up for success. The reason being is high intensity interval training has a very specific hormonal response that follows the training itself. And one of those is secretion of human growth hormone. You want that to happen. So if you're not incorporating any of that type of training, maybe you should go talk to Linda, because you're missing out. So what we do is, if you're already doing that stuff, you're doing what you can to naturally set yourself up for success. Because I would never recommend any type of supplementation or product use, or even synthetic hormone use, if you're not already set up for success in your lifestyle: food, nutrition, sleep. Boom. If you can't manage those three things, being on some sort of dietary supplement or synthetic hormonal schedule is probably not going to benefit you. So when you have all of those kind of building blocks set up, which I'm sure is absolutely in line with what you're teaching anyway, people do look for alternatives to the synthetic drug because they don't want to do the side effects. And that's what we offer. We simply offer the end result of the hormone itself that you can take as a human being that's 100% non-synthetic and get all the same benefits without any of the side effects.
So you have the basically the natural version. It's not synthetic. It's not like what it is to me is when people get HRT, you could get the bioidentical, which is all natural, or you could get the synthetic. And generally it's the all natural is better for you. And so I have a lot of people that, because I'm dealing with women, and I'm helping change lives. And when women hit a certain age, around 50 on, they are looking for solutions, because I'm sure that the HGH is very much diminishing. And one of the things they notice, one of those struggles they have, is they aren't, no matter how often they're lifting, they're not able to have the same muscle tone they had before. And so how does HGH affect that, your brand of HGH?
So it's important to know that we don't actually give you HGH. We give you the end result. Because when I give you, if it were me, and it's not, if I give you human growth hormone, okay, it's going to cause a few things to happen. Number one, if I'm giving you the hormone, your body's natural production is going to shut off. All right. That's called negative feedback loop. We don't want that. We want you to, I don't want to alter your body physiologically in a negative way, just to kind of sell you one of my products. That's not what that goes against everything that I believe in, even from a company perspective.
I kind of heard that with hormones as well.
That's exactly accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you take an exogenous hormone, like if you take an injection, a pill, you're taking an exogenous synthetic hormone, you will shut off your natural production. That is called negative feedback loop. Your brain notices that you're taking a synthetic form of the drug, or that you're getting too much of whatever you're getting. And it says, hey, I don't need to make this anymore, so I'm just going to shut it off. Why? I mean, that's just how your brain reacts. So we don't want to give you the hormone specifically. I want you to create as much naturally as you possibly can. But what we do is we've created a formula that is the end result of the hormone itself. And I'm going to take 30 seconds as best I can to explain that, because it's very important. Human growth hormone is secreted by the pituitary gland. Before it gets used by the body, it gets sent to the liver first. The liver metabolizes it and transforms it into what are called growth factors. Growth factors are these individual little protein molecules that get sent out into your blood to tell cells what to do. So if you have collagen cells in your face and you want to tighten your skin, something's got to tell those cells to grow and to multiply. It doesn't just magically happen. There has to be a chemical reaction. There has to be a synapse. There has to be a signal to tell that cell to do that. If you want to create more muscle tissue, the muscle cells have to be signaled to do something. The protein cytokines or the growth factors, the growth factors, they're called protein cytokines, are cellular signaling devices. That's why the hormone even exists. The hormone exists to create these signals to go to your cells and go, hey, wake up. I need you to do this. I need you to make it happen. I need you to multiply. I need you to bring your buddies, and I need you to tighten my face. You have to have the signal. We create a formula that are just signals, so we don't manipulate your natural production. That's what's so great. We don't have the negative side effects. So we just signal those cells what to do naturally, and boom, you're in business.
Wow, that's quite a process. And I love that you were saying about the fact that when you're putting that in, it shuts off your natural production, because I think that's a fact that a lot of people don't realize. And it's a pretty important fact, because you want your body to naturally work as much as it can. And then a supplement is just that. It's to aid you in what you're not going to be able to produce, but not shut it off. What do you think are there any side effects to this the HGH treatment that you have?
We just call it an alternative. It's an HGH alternative.
Okay.
So we actually have been in business since 2009. We've only been available to physicians until late last year. Now we have a platform that we can actually offer our products directly to individuals, right on our website. Boom, out the door. Awesome. Why I say that is because with over a decade, we're fully FDA compliant. We're fully FDA registered. We actually have to indicate to them if we have any type of massive side effect, if we have any contraindications with other medications, et cetera, because it's completely molecularly identical to what your body already produces, meaning it's the same. And because it's 100% natural, we haven't had any massive side effects. We haven't had any contraindications with any other drugs. That's what's so great. I am absolutely confident and comfortable giving this product to my 85-year-old grandmother, right? Or a 13-year-old kid. Now, I'm not a medical physician, and I'm not telling you to give this product to either one of those individuals without physician guidance. However, I'm saying, from me personally, I have no problem doing that. It is absolutely 100% safe. And in my entire career with working with these formulas, I have yet to handle a phone call or yet to have to file a report with the FDA of some sort of weird side effect or contraindication.
So what are the benefits that people can expect from this HGH alternative that you have? What, if let's say somebody today is like, oh, I got to have this, sounds great. What are the benefits that they're going to receive?
100%. So let's focus on your audience and what, and who we're talking to right now. From my understanding, and after what you've said in this, just in the few minutes you and I have been going back and forth and talking, your audience is predominantly female, if not all female. They're all over the age of 35, 40, even further.
Yeah, over the age of 35, definitely.
100%. And they're coming to you for what? For fitness, lifestyle, training, and healthy habits, correct?
Yes.
But something you mentioned earlier was that you have individuals that come to you and can't seem to get some of the results that they're wanting, even though they're following your plan.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So I'm not saying that this is everybody, and clearly I can't identify individual cases because I don't know the individuals. However, from our experience, especially in the medical community, we hear these types of scenarios repeatedly. I mean, it's all the time. And it's not just women, it's men too, but it's repeatedly.
Right. Men too. Right.
One of the things, especially, there you go. One of the things, especially in this country, in the United States of America, what we see is we have an overwhelming issue with what's called insulin resistance. Are you familiar with insulin resistance?
Yes.
Okay. Super simple. For anybody who doesn't know, it just means your body doesn't know how to use insulin the right way. Insulin tells your body how to use the food that you eat. You're either going to do one of two things with it. You're going to use it to repair your muscles and body after workouts and living, or you're going to store it as fat. Now, why I bring this up is because in this country, especially with women, there are very specific pharmaceutical drugs and medications that are heavily prescribed to women over men. Those are birth control, which needs no explanation. I don't really know any guys that take birth control. I'm not saying that they don't. I'm just saying I don't personally know any, but women predominantly take birth control. Women are actually predominantly overprescribed when compared to men. Antidepressants. Okay.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Exactly. Well, guess what both of those drugs' long-term use cause? Insulin resistance.
Weight gain. Well, yeah.
Insulin resistance. So when your body doesn't know how to use insulin appropriately and you're doing all these workouts, your body's not actually, your insulin spiking and it's like, hey, use me, use me, use me. Like, I want to use this food. And your body is just, it's a deaf ear. It doesn't even hear you. And you have this insulin spiking in your body and it's not telling you to use the food the right way. So what do you do with it? It's not going to just magically disappear. You store it as fat. So you're doing all of this work and through no fault of your own, you can't seem to lose this excess fat or flub or what I call subcutaneous fat, which typically sits around your midsection. So growth factors have you can Google it. I mean, overwhelming science behind them to improve blood sugar utilization, insulin, blood sugar utilization, and fight and improve insulin resistance. So with some specific anecdotal cases that we have that come in all the time when they take our products, this is like the most fun part of my job. I know nobody can see me, but I start to smile because I get so hyped. We have guys and women that are in their late 40s, going into 50s. They don't change anything about their lifestyle. They don't increase their workouts. They don't change their diet. I always recommend that they do, but they will start with our products and we'll have people that lose 6 inches in just a few weeks. No change in lifestyle. I'm not talking 8 weeks. I'm talking in a month, because their body is starting to function the right way. Their blood sugar utilization is improving. So the workouts that they're doing, they're getting better and faster results from, because it's not that they're increasing their effort. It's that now their efforts are being rewarded, if that makes sense. So Within the first couple of days, we always see it. We always ask people, like, how fast did you feel at work? 12 to 14 days, people feel like they've been shot out of a cannon because their energy goes through the roof. Their body is working the right way. It's working the way it's supposed to be and designed. And they feel like different individuals, literally.
So it all sounds really good. Now, is there any, like, could I take too much?
No, you can't actually. We've tried. You can't. And here's why. It's not a synthetic drug. So where a lot of synthetic drugs fail, other than side effects, is that they push your body past how it should operate naturally. Meaning, let's say you're at a scale of like 100. Okay. We'll just use random numbers to keep it really simple, make a quantitative result. So let's say your hormones are at 100, and that's how you are when you felt your best. When you're 22, you recover from workouts overnight, like your sleep is great. You could sleep 5 hours a night and you feel like $1 million the next day, right? Those things don't happen to us anymore, including myself. I wish they did, but including myself, not naturally. So what happens is when you take these synthetic drugs and hormones, they're able to push your body past what it was ever capable of. That's actually how they test for drugs in professional athletics. They're looking for these abnormalities in your blood work to go, well, this is not humanly possible, so you're clearly doping. That's where synthetic drugs take you. With our product, because it's molecularly identical, it's the exact same that your body already makes. We don't have that ability by design. We never want you to go past that 100 level mark. I don't want you at 101. I want you at 100. We don't want you past that. Once you start going into this abnormality range, now you're at risk for enlarged heart, myocarditis, like your heart could explode, right? So these crazy things.
That makes sense.
It's not even possible with our product. Anything that you can't absorb of what you're taking from our product, you literally excrete through urine or sweat. So your body uses what it can. It fills in those blocks that you're missing, and anything that you're not, you can just excrete, which is why all of our dosing regimens are all the exact same for everybody.
So give me one of your favorite success stories.
Okay, I will. I got it yesterday. And it was from a gentleman named Tim. I'm going to use a male because it's incredibly popular, or it's incredibly powerful is what I should say. And Tim used a synthetic therapy called SARMs, SARN, select androgen receptor modules. And I don't expect anybody to know what that is. Okay. But what Tim
somebody out there will.
Somebody out there will. And what happened with Tim is he wanted to increase his performance. He wanted to have more energy. He wanted to feel better. So he's like, I'm going to take this product that I would never recommend anybody taking. And his testosterone, which is the equivalent of the female estrogen for men, went through the floor. So everything he was trying to fix, he actually increased his negative side. Yeah, he did the exact opposite. So now Tim, his testosterone's through the floor. He is struggling with, in his own words, struggling with severe anxiety and depression to where he was finding it very difficult to hang out with his friends, family. He was, who doesn't, I think everybody is familiar and or has or knows somebody who is suffering themselves with severe anxiety and depression. It's not a rare case. So he took BioPro Plus, which is our product. He took our AM and PM formula. We do a morning and a night. And literally when you see his testimonial, when you see his story, when he's talking about his problems, it's really heart-wrenching because you can feel it in his face and it's really sad. But the second of when he starts talking about how this product changed his life in the first 28 days, his literally words are, I wouldn't change it for the world. His hormone levels improved, but more importantly, it gave him exactly what he wanted. He was able to come off his antidepressants. He was able to come off of those types of drugs that he was on to kind of cover what he was dealing with from his anxiety and his depression. He can hang out with his family and friends now. He feels great. His face lights up. He's so excited. And that's literally why I like do what I do. I'm a super lucky guy. Some guys came into my life when I was younger, put me on the right track, gave me some opportunities. I'm an incredibly lucky individual. So from a guy that like slept on couches and did anything I could to just be in this business and to figure this stuff out
Yeah.
to where we've been catapulted to today, where I'm able to, I'm on the phone with guys in Australia in the middle of the night because our product's huge in Australia right now, to talking to like elite special forces guys on the other side of the earth, to professional athletes. Like I was just some kid scrubbing barbells and toilets. And to be able to do something where I'm able to have that type of impact on another individual, no matter where they're at in the country or in the world. And something as simple as a formula that I found that got some, a team behind it that was able to bring that to them from doing what I'm doing right now, Linda, which is like talking to you. I mean, that literally that's my career. That I mean, he wouldn't change it for the world. Are you kidding? I wouldn't change it for the world. Like that is the whole reason why we do what we do. And his story is not actually, an individual story. I have multiples that are very, very similar. We have a woman, she's in her 50s. Her name is Roxanne. She was fire department, law enforcement officer, and she had severe inflammation and joint pain and issues to the point where she did seek medical help. She sought synthetic remedies, pain medication. She was into a ton of doctors. And as she's talking, she's like crying because after she started taking our products, like she wasn't even able to do yard work because it would put her in a chair or on a bed for 48 hours to 72 hours. Like it was that painful for her and her joints.
I know a lot of the listeners their ears are perking up right now.
So when she starts talking about the use of our product and starts bawling and crying with joy, because she literally, in her own words, nothing helped her. Nothing helped her. And this woman was a law enforcement officer. She was answering, she's a first responder. Like this is her life of being able to take care of others, to respond on a moment's notice. And all of those things were taken away from her. And this was something that really helped. It changed her life. And it's like getting, having people cry for the right reasons for you because you've been able to offer them something or provide them something that is life-changing. I got to be honest, when I got into this business, I didn't expect to get this type of life-changing stuff. But I mean, I'm so grateful that we did because it makes my life very fulfilled. I love it. I know you can't see me if you're listening, but like, I can't stop smiling because I really do love what we do. And I was a user before we bought this company. I was in the athletic environment. Remember, I was working with pros and athletes and individuals, and I was using this product way before this. I'm a believer through and through.
Well, when you are an athlete or just even an exerciser that gets a little overzealous, and as we start to age as well, your body can start breaking down if you don't have the things that you need to help keep it strong and healthy. So I can see why this would do well, why people would want it. And I know a lot of the listeners are wanting to know how much younger is this going to make us?
Yeah, well, if I could quantify that for each individual, it would be great. However, I can't give you an individual answer for each one of those things, but the easiest way to put it is why not just stop the clock at least where you're at now, right? Hit the stop button at least where you're at, stop the clock in its tracks, and at least start there first, and then worry about, how to actually turn it backwards. What I will tell you that is if you can at least help stop the clock with this product and then continue, or even start a really good lifestyle program, meaning working out with you, eating the right foods, getting the right amount of sleep and hydration. Now we can start talking about turning the clock back, because the human body is like, it's the craziest, most impressive machine that's ever been built. and it is designed to heal itself. Your body is not
Oh,
designed
100%.
to degenerate. Okay. It degenerates because of the
Yeah,
environment that we put it in.
right.
So
We're
think
not
about
giving
stopping
it
the
the
clock
things it needs to build up.
100%. And I will tell you this, and I mean, you can get on a tangent with me if you want. The number one thing that's going to help stop the clock right now is adequate sleep. People do not get enough
Yes.
sleep,
Oh my
and they don't
gosh,
realize.
so
It
much.
sounds like you have some experience with that.
Oh, yes, 100%. My cortisol was through the roof.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I think people don't realize that sleep is what lowers that. And so I had some injuries because of the cortisol and the lack of sleep.
Mhm.
It can cause, muscle wasting. It can cause all sorts of damage uh, long term to you if you're not getting the sleep that you need. So, like 100%. And it lowers your stress because it lowers your cortisol to get the sleep.
100%.
So it's just so huge.
Cortisol, I mean, elevated cortisol can be tracked. Number one, if anybody doesn't know what you're talking about, cortisol is your fight or flight hormone. It gets spiked when your body is in a survival environment. Your body gets put into that survival environment when you do one of a few things. Originally, it would be if you were getting chased by a lion. Okay, now we're not getting chased by lions anymore. Well, most of us are not going to be getting chased by lions anymore. More importantly, it's when you elevate that, you can also elevate that cortisol through not getting enough sleep, like you just mentioned, not getting enough water, dehydration, and not getting enough calories, not eating enough food. Because when you don't have any of those other three things, your body still notices that it thinks it's dying. Your body literally thinks it's dying. So it will actually, if you're not getting enough water, it'll store water under your skin. So if you want to get rid of bloating, here's a trick: drink more water. If you're worried about
Right.
bloating or subcutaneous water storage, ladies, 3/4 of an ounce per ounce of body weight. Yeah, you're going to be peeing crazy for the first 24, 48 hours. But I'm telling you, what you're
Right.
peeing? You're draining the subcutaneous water underneath your skin. Your skin will immediately tighten
100%.
up. So it's like this elevated cortisol will tell your body, because it's terrified of dying, to actually store body fat and water because it thinks it's not going to get it anymore. And to exactly your point, which is muscle wasting, it actually tells your body to eat muscle tissue because that's the highest, most nutrient dense piece of meat in your body. It goes right around the food. So sleep, increase your sleep. Every decade after 18, your sleep actually goes down 1 hour a night. So that's why people start having some real tough issues sleeping later on. They don't realize that it's actually caused by aging as well. So fix that. Watch your weight loss just almost happen on its own. But I know we got off a tangent. That happens every time somebody brings up sleep.
Well, in addition, at the time when I had the cortisol spike, I was competing like a mad woman. I did 6 shows in a year. And I think there again, I drove myself into the flight or fright mode because I was overtraining. So you also don't want to, in addition, you don't want to overtrain because that can also send you into that high cortisol. It can cause the overtraining causes you, again, it can cause you to have lack of sleep and all kinds of issues. So I think we covered so much today. This has been so good. And I want to just commend you on your passion that it took you into this whole future where you're helping people with their longevity, and you're beaming today. So your smile is proof that you're living in your purpose.
Thank you, Linda. Hey, I wanted to offer your listenership something too. I know we didn't plan this at all, but I figured why not? If anybody is listening and wants to try it out, I would love nothing more than that, clearly, right? That's, part of the whole thing. But I'll give them $30 off if they want to try it. And if they just use code sisterhood30, I'll give you $30 off. You go check it out, try it out. You can be our next testimonial. But I mean, I just figured it's something that's the least I could do for anybody that's listening that's been make it through the whole time of me talking, at least give them some sort of reward for it. So check it out if you'd like to do that.
That's an excellent offer. And I know a lot of people will be interested in that because You're speaking the language today. Everybody here at the Sisterhood of Sweat wants to improve their health, have vitality, and longevity. So again, that was Sisterhood, right?
Yep,
Is the
Sisterhood
code?
30. Yep, Sisterhood
Okay.
30, $30 off.
And where can we reach you? Like if anybody wants to get in contact with you again
Yep.
on social media.
So social media is great. It's you can go right to our page, which is at BioProtein Tech. That's Instagram. It's at BioProtein Tech, at BioProteintech. The website's the exact same, bioproteintech.com. Check it out. Do some info. Our social media is very engaging, tons of testimonials. There's no, we don't do the hard pitch, hard sales type stuff. We really just want individuals to get the information that they want. So ask us any questions. If it's outside of our scope and it's something that we can't help you with, we have physicians all over the country that that we can always point you to depending upon where you're at. So we're just here to help. We just, people actually do care. They want you to feel good. They, you're testament to that, Linda. People care. They want you to feel good. You shouldn't have to run around feeling like crap. So let us help.
Right. 100%. I think we weren't meant, like, as we grow older, I just believe it's never too late, and that you don't have to feel old, as just because you're chronologically aging doesn't mean you need to look or feel old. So I love that we could help ourselves today. And I just thank you again for coming on and just being so knowledgeable about health.
I appreciate it. I hope to talk to you again soon. I really appreciate the opportunity. And again, if anybody has any questions, even if it's not even like specifically about our products, but they have questions about what we spoke about, go to the Instagram, just shoot us a DM. Somebody on there can help you out. We're here to help, not push a bunch of stuff on you. So just ask the question.
Perfect. Thanks again. And thanks everybody for listening to this episode of the Sisterhood of Sweat. And as always, keep on keeping on.
All right. Thanks, Linda.
Bye, everybody.